Okay, so let's begin. We'll sit quietly and we'll explore some pranayama before larger movement, and then we'll see how that carries into the asana practice, and we will go from there. Okay, so rest your hands in your lap and let your eyes close. And when you let your eyes close and you've come inside, start to filter out the distractions of daily life. And let that be something that you learn how to do, kind of like a little ritual of your own, whether it's like pruning a tree for a few moments, where when we prune the plant, the energy available for the roots and the strength of the plant is increased. You might have an image like cleaning the field of energy around you and opening the sky of your mind to be more connected to your practice or to consciousness. Or maybe you filter like the snow globe has been set on the counter and all the snow particles inside the tiny snow globe are settling down. Whatever your process, stay committed to that filtering just for another minute or so, so you can arrive in your inner values, in your heart, in the reason that you've come to yoga class this morning. Now, some things that you're pruning away, I'm talking about the distractions, but other things in your life might be essential to bring with you onto your mat. So like an inner feeling of vulnerability or a certain kind of commitment you want to make that sometimes feels like it needs more focus, or if you're having a sense of poignancy, you can bring those sort of emotional ambiances to your practice and see how your yoga practice incorporates them. And then please bring your hands together at your heart. And notice that when you place your palms in Anjali Mudra, there is a tiny space between the centers of your palms. And into that space, you can kind of place your intention for your practice. So when we sing, that intention gets the vibration of the sound, but also if your thumbs are at your sternum, the vibration will actually touch the sides of your thumbs, and then that vibration goes to your intention and then moves outwards. And we'll chant Om Namah Shivaya Gurave together. Om Namah Shivaya Gurave Satchidananda Murtaye Nishprapanchaya Shantaya Niralambaya Tejase. Om Namah Shivaya Gurave Satchidananda Murtaye Nishprapanchaya Shantaya Niralambaya Tejase. Om Namah Shivaya Gurave Satchidananda Murtaye Nishprapanchaya Shantaya Niralambaya Tejase. Om Shanti Om Shanti Shanti Om With your exhale, you may bow your head to your heart. And release your hands. Please open your eyes. We'll begin with some pranayama. I want to just explain for a few moments that when we're doing inhale suspension, for anybody who missed this detail, since you can't see my whole body, I'm sitting close to the camera. When I'm holding my hand up, I'm just saying this is your inhale suspension. And what's happening to suspend the inhale is that we sweep the low belly in and up to brighten the chest, to like lift the chest like a parachute. And we bring the chin slightly down and in. So you're using the bandhas during the inhale suspension. Then you release those bandhas before you have the exhale. Okay, so we're going to do a short Bhastrika, and then we'll do inhale suspension. We'll exhale through both nostrils, We'll do a short Bhastrika, then we'll inhale suspend using Nadi Shodhana. Okay, let's do it together. So Bhastrika is out the mouth, like blowing out a candle about this far from you. I know that the distance on Zoom looks funny to you, but you understand. Okay, let's begin. Exhale completely. Now inhale through the nose, and at the top of your inhale, suspend the breath. Exhale through both nostrils. And pause for a moment. Now we'll do the Bhastrika again, so just these powerful exhales about 20 times. Let's begin. Inhale through both nostrils, lower third, middle third, upper third to hold the inhale. Close the right nostril, exhale left side. Inhale left nostril, we'll hold the inhale at the top. Exhale right nostril. Inhale right. Hold the inhale. Exhale left nostril. Release your right hand down. So we are sort of refreshing the mind and recalibrating our attention. Now we'll do it with Kapalabati, a short Kapalabati, and then same process, the Nadi Shodhana. Kapalabati means we're going to exhale through the nose. Let's begin. Exhale completely. Inhale through both nostrils. Hold the inhale at the top. Close the right, exhale left. Inhale left. Suspend. Exhale right. Inhale right. Suspend. Exhale left. Now we'll do 3 rounds of Sitali. We did this practice on Monday or Wednesday. You'll inhale like a straw, or you'll place the tongue behind the top 2 teeth if your tongue doesn't make a straw shape. So a straw like that or like this. And we'll inhale while raising and opening the chest, heart, and throat. And then we'll exhale through the nose to come back down to Jalandhar Bandha. Let's do it together. And release that practice as well. And notice what's happening inside. If possible, we cool the unhelpful aspect of Pitta. We come into the aspect of Pitta that is helpful, that is beneficial. We also balance our Pitta with our Kapha and Vata. That state of balance would be a sattvic state. Sattva means clear and lucid. Sat means seeing that which is true. Okay, thank you. Let's please come up to standing. Thank you, Susie, for getting my camera. So when we come up to standing this afternoon, we're going to do a wide leg stance, and we're going to do a little bit of work with some twisting poses. So I'd like you to take a wide stance and place 2 blocks, which we're going to be using. We did this a couple weeks ago, or maybe it was last week, but time is kind of funny right now, as most of you know. So come down to Prasarita Padottanasana, please. And you can place your palms on your blocks, or you can see for me that it's more suited to place my elbows and forearms on my blocks. Please relax the weight of your head. Release the crown of your skull. And then energize your legs just enough to be stable and to be in your body, not in your thoughts, not lost in the helicopter of the mind. Now come to your Ujjayi breath, smoothly in through your nose. Respect your inhale pause, and smoothly out through your nose at your pace, respecting your exhale pause. You now place both hands on your blocks and keeping the Ujjayi breath established. I'd like you to take your right hand and cross it over to the outside of the left block. In fact, go as far as you can, so you can even put the back of your hand on the floor. Straighten your left arm and let the upper back widen as you kind of lean back into your right shoulder blade. Release the weight of your head. And keeping the left arm strong, just as you're able to, and your right arm kind of fixed there. Take a breath from the back of your waist up into your right upper quadrant, the right shoulder blade, the back of your heart on the right. And then when you exhale, press into your left arm and lift your right arm, glide it across and twist. And inhale to open your twist. You now exhale to return, and as you cross your right arm over, fix your forearm again to the outside of your block and inhale into your right upper quadrant. Include the pelvis and the back waist first. And then exhale, press down through your left arm and open to your twist during your exhale. Then inhale to open. And one more time, exhale, come across. Inhale into your right backside. And then exhale, press down through your left arm, open to your twist, and use the inhale to finish off the twist. And then let's exhale, bring your right hand back down, and then cross your left hand to the outside of your right block, and just start with a little opening, sensing breathing. So right arm strong, and let the back side of your body broaden, like you're stretching when you have to stretch the fitted sheet over the mattress. Relax the weight of your head and your neck. It's okay to turn your gaze to the right and then release your head. You might enjoy the opening on the right side of your neck. And now deep inhale through the nose. And with your exhale, begin the process of strengthening your right arm so that as you push through your right arm, it starts the twist. And then the inhale picks up the last part of your twist. And exhale to come down. And as you reach across, roll into your left upper quadrant, left upper back. And exhale, press through your right arm so that initiates the twist continues, and the inhale picks up your twist. And then exhale to come down. One more time. Reach across, steady your forearm there so you can lean back into your left upper quadrant and you can sense the space you're making within the body. And then exhale, press down, strengthen your right arm. And pick up the twist as your inhale begins, you finish it off. And then release back down. And come down to your first position. Whatever that happened to be. So mine was elbows on my blocks. Now we're going to walk the hands out on these blocks so that your arms are stretched out. And if you look, you have quite a bit of space between your hips and then your fingertips. I'd like you to take your left hand now under to reach across towards your right ankle. And if it's really far away, use a yoga strap or hold some other part of your right leg. So we're going to keep the right arm strong and straight, almost like the right arm is doing downward dog pose. And twist under your right armpit, but lean back into the left quadrant of your body. So left upper quadrant. Of course, you'll feel the left hemisphere of the body entirely, but focus on when the inhale arrives underneath your left shoulder blade. And then release and place your left hand out onto your block and take your right arm under. So the left arm is going to act like downward facing dog pose. As you hold your outer shin, I'd like you to broaden the back of your body and focus on the breath coming into your right upper shoulder blade. And in this process, as you're breathing, check any place where the breath feels smooth and steady. Notice how you're contributing to that smoothness. What are you doing to cultivate the breath or your own presence? And then when you exhale next, release your right hand, stretch it out to your blocks, and bring yourself forward so your block should be shoulder width apart. Step your toes back to plank pose, and then using your plank pose distance, rise up to your downward facing dog pose. Then let's take 5 steady breaths here in downward dog pose at your own pace. And those 5 breath cycles, you can think of them like inhale, pause, exhale, pause, like 5, even 10 times to visit with the stillness, with the inner place that becomes most lucid during your practice. When you finish your 5th exhale, then glide forward to plank pose and gaze down between your thumbs for your plank pose. And then lightly touch your knees to the floor. Bring the big toes together, separate the knees, and reach back to child's pose with one block for your head. Notice what's happening for you in the inner body and also with your mind, and how you might have brought the quality of pranayama into that short sequence that we just did. And then walk your hands back towards your knees and come up to where you can see me. I'm going to demonstrate. Okay, so we're going to play with Sphinx pose, which will become a kind of variation on cobra pose, which may become a variation on seal pose. And the first one will be seal. So when we come down, when we come down, Sphinx pose is kind of like this. We're going to take it with the palms straight ahead. So people have their ideas about why. The names are not that relevant, actually. So when we press down with both forearms here, Sphinx pose is a lift of the chest and heart with the tone of the low belly. And then we're going to press into both palms, and that'll change the dynamic of the pose. And we'll come down, we'll put the palms, and then we'll come back down. Let's start here. So come onto your abdomen, please. Blue is the color of the day, Richie. Yeah. Okay, very good. So the two forearms, you can point your toes behind you. Let's place the elbows under your shoulders, please, directly under your shoulders. Energize your legs, lengthen your tailbone so it's down towards the floor. Press your pubic bone gently down towards the floor and see if you can lift the skin of the low belly up off the floor or kind of make that action. Then roll your heart forward. Widen your collarbones. And with the Ujjayi inhale, please rise up to 2 straight arms, just as best as you can. And exhale, lower your elbows down while keeping your shoulders back and collarbones wide. Turn to the back of your hands. Inhale, rise up. Exhale the elbows down. Turn your palms over. Inhale to rise up. And exhale, smooth. Exhale, Ujjayi. Coming down. Turn your palms over one more time. Inhale to rise up. And exhale, lower your elbows. Make a little prayer of your hands. And then a little pillow for your head turned to your right. So really important for Pitta to learn how to go from exertion to ease, like activation to stillness. So let your body come back to stillness here, melting any unnecessary tension or holding across your upper back, even up to the base of your skull. And then come back to your Sphinx pose and put your blocks on the floor for your forearms. Okay, so now your Sphinx pose, your hands are likely not going to be able to touch the floor, of course, in the same way. So you can pretend and place the forearms out. Okay, and we'll just do the palms facing down for this one. So here, what we have is the Sphinx pose is higher. So press down with the tops of your thighs, with both kneecaps, the tops of both feet. Press into your elbows and lift your heart up in the center here. Widen the collarbones. And let's breathe Ujjayi breathing, 3 or 4 breath cycles. So notice what it takes to sustain the pose. And if you do have kind of like a high Pitta temperament, I would recommend you close your eyes so they're not getting overactivated. Use the Ujjayi, but don't force your tongue to push on the back of your teeth. And let your thumbs relax. So the effort you're making is internal. It's not your eyes, your tongue, or your thumbs. And then let's walk the blocks forward. Place the back of your upper arms on the 2 blocks. and relax the weight of your head between your upper arms. Your head is not required to reach the floor, and optimally it probably won't because your forearms are higher than the floor. Let's see if you can scoot your elbows forward and allow for a stretch along the sides of your chest and your shoulder blades. You can put the palms together like a little prayer. You also can put the palms together, but then just use your thumbprints and your fingerprints and push them against each other so the palms of your hands actually separate. And try taking a deep breath from your pelvis to your mid-back and then into the upper third of your torso. And then, awkward as it might be, walk your hands back to a place behind your blocks under your shoulders. And let's roll up to Cobra Pose. And to see what Cobra Pose feels like, having done that simple sequence, can you sustain your Cobra Pose with a smooth Ujjayi breath? Again, relax your eyes. Your tongue in Cobra, using Ujjayi, you can gently place the tip of your tongue behind the top two teeth, but don't push your teeth out of your mouth. Don't work so hard. And then press firmly into both hands. Roll up. And let's go back to Child's Pose. Pull both blocks back so they're available to you. Put one block under your forehead, please, and make it so it's wide, like a little bench. Try to bring your hips back to your heels as well as you can. And then place the other block on the tall setting to the right side of your mat. And we're going to go like this. You reach the left arm under, turn to the left side of your head. So you've got the back of your left hand on the floor in Child's Pose, and take your right hand to the tall block to twist your upper body to your right. And notice where the breath goes, especially be kind of interested in the left hemisphere of your body. So how you placed your left hand, try to keep it firmly established there, which means you have to press the back of your hand down against the mat, almost like you're using little Velcro on the back of your left wrist to keep it attached to the mat. And that's so you can really lean back into the left upper back. And then let's roll that back to center. Okay, and put the block on the left side of your mat. Bring your right hand under, reach it through, and come to the right side of your head. And establish the back of your wrist there on the floor. Take your left hand on your tall block and twist to your left. And as you're rotating through here, think of the upper back on your right side. As the recipient of the breath, the back of your heart receives your inhale. And then release to center. And let's take this to Sphinx, to Seal, to Upward Dog Pose. And we're going to use the blocks on the medium setting. So let's place both blocks. Place your elbows. Move your hair off your face. Okay, so when you're on both blocks now, this is going to be a higher Sphinx pose. Do what you feel you like to do with your hands. Palms up, palms in, palms down. It's up to you. Press down with the tops of both feet and both knees. Press your thighs down. Lift the pubic bone up, and as you lift your heart, try opening your throat. Yeah, beautiful. Notice what you can do with the breath, and if you lift your chin past the place of breathability, you bring it back to where it is a breathable experience. Slide your shoulders back. You want to feel some of the activation is in your upper back. This should not feel like it's just crunching your lower back. A little hint there is to press your elbows down so the low belly is lifted in, and you can also lift your back ribs up off of your sacrum. They should not be crunching together. And then exhale to lower down for a moment. And we go from exertion to ease. Something every Pitta needs to learn about. And then bring your blocks back in and place them under your shoulders, palms face down. So that at first your arms are going to look like you're a grasshopper. That's how I see it anyway. And then press up. And let's explore, what does seal pose feel like from here? So in seal pose, what you do is you press the tops of your feet down, also press your knees down, press into both blocks, roll up through your heart, and see what you can do to lift the chin so that you have a sense like we did in that Sitali breathing. It's good to adapt. I appreciate that some of you are making the adaptations that you need. Keeping the pose strong, press into the tops of your feet and lift it into upward facing dog pose. So your knees might float off the floor. That's it, yes. And breathing in. And exhale, roll to plank pose, gazing down. Inhale, reach back, downward facing dog pose. Now exhale, right foot forward. Let's see how the work we've been doing shows up here. Inhale, rise, crescent lunge. My hope is that your upper body, if you were to hang out here just a little bit, that the upper body is supported by the lower body, and the arms, they could feel really light. You know, that you get to explore it. You get to listen to, how does the upper body, if you were a bird in the sky, in the moment when the bird stretches their wings, and they appear to be effortless, the wind supporting them. And when you next exhale, just think about how you'll come down, slowly, slowly, with the stability of your legs. We've got the right foot forward. Let's take this chance to cross the left elbow to the outside of the right knee, and then twist to your right. And you may choose to raise your right arm, your wingtip to the sky, and then we'll exhale and lower down. Place both hands on your two blocks and step backwards to downward dog pose. Breathing in. Exhale, float your left foot forward between your hands. Root down through your tailbone, and let's see what this one feels like to rise. Yeah. And again, so long as the base is stable, you've done a lot of work with the upper back here, so you can play with how would your wings want to express themselves. And it doesn't need to make sense biomechanically if you're thinking about actual birds and actual skies. This is yours to explore. Nice job. Not something that you can get wrong. And nothing to try to get right. When you find yourself ready for the exhale and the descent, just take it slowly like a luxury. And then let's come into the twist, this time to the left. So cross your right elbow to the outside of your left knee. And you can raise your left arm to your twist. And follow your exhale to slowly release. place both hands on your blocks one more time. And when you step backwards to dog pose this time, gaze back between your toes. Then close your eyes and listen for one long, smooth, complete Ujjayi breath. And inhale forward to table pose. Take one block to sit on in Zazen. Means kneeling. So your block goes like this and you're sitting, both sitting bones on the block. Rest your hands in your lap. So what you might notice is that part of the sequence makes your fire, it animates the fire. Some of the energy rises up towards the mind. So now we want to relax the eyes and the tongue and your thumbs. And imagine the pitta that is most useful, the form of pitta that is most useful to you. Physically speaking, that pitta is going to digest your food. That's one of pitta's benefits to us, one of its duties. Now, mentally, pitta helps you to transform emotions, thoughts, and life events into the heart, compassion, loving kindness, equanimity, and to transform up to the mind, where we see clearly and we become a part of collaboration and solutions, even for the larger dilemmas beyond our own life. So now I'd like to take us to a pitta cooling shavasana practice. So I'd like you to have 2 blocks, please, and I'll keep mine here so you can see how we'll use it. And then these 2 blankets, which mine are pre-folded because, like I like to say, it's sort of like a cooking show. They already have the vegetables chopped there. So what I have are the 2 long folded blankets like this. I'll put it so you can see like this. So I opened it from my storage fold. That makes it bigger. And then I fold it in half twice to get here. So what you're going to do is when you first come into the position, just sit on the very front edge of your blankets and have your blocks within hand's reach. And then lie down so that you're going to, so I should say this specifically, then sit on the floor, lie backwards, pick up your hips and place the 2 blocks under the line of the sacrum. So it should feel like your hips are almost the same height as the 2 blankets are right now. And then curl the blanket under your head so the base of your skull feels supported. And pick up both knees. And let the knees come towards your chest. I know you're on a little elevated platform here with your blankets. Let's see if you can bring the knees towards your chest so you sense the sides of the blocks. You can reach up to take the hamstrings with your hands and glide your knees towards your armpits. Relax the deep low belly. And then gently glide your knees from where they are just up to a vertical position. Keep the knees bent. So when you're gliding, you're going to feel the sides of the block and the sides of the sacrum coming together. The way you are on the two blocks right now, let your sacrum start resting down between the two blocks. And then take the knees a little bit past vertical. Notice like the mid to lower portion of your sacrum. And really slowly bring your toes to the floor, heels to the floor. Lift your hips, put the blocks on the flat setting, and come down so you just have the blocks are right there at the sides of the trochanters. So when you pick up your knees now, your sacrum is neither touching the blankets, though the top of the sacrum might be, but the sacrum, most of it is not touching the blankets, not touching the floor. But these blocks are right behind the trochanter bones. What you can do is have the knees kind of drift out and drift in. So you're making a little massage to the sides of the sacrum down low, next to where the sacrum and then the trochanters have this little valley between them, and these muscles right in there are the ones that you are massaging. And then bring your toes to the floor, lift your hips, and as you now glide your hips down to Baddha Konasana, put the blocks on the medium setting. And notice that the way that you made the blanket roll when you brought your hips down, you got this traction for the spine. You turn your palms face up and close your eyes, please. And let your mind keep filtering down. We were just working at the sacrum and the tailbone on purpose, so let the mind continue flowing down in that direction. So your pitta is not going up towards your head. Your pitta is letting its primary duty for digestion, letting that happen. And let the pelvis, the inner belly, be like water. Pitta dosha is made of fire and water. And then let the hips, the bones of your hips be like earth, the element of earth. And invite those places of contact with the ground beneath you to just get delicately heavier and heavier in the course of releasing down into your Shavasana. Allow yourself to rest really deeply, a few degrees more deeply. Imagine the fire dosha in the stomach. Mid-torso is properly sized. The water dosha returns. The water element in the pelvis. This balances your pitta. And the earth element heavy in the feet and ankles, hips and tailbone. Earth and water are your kapha dosha. And you may lightly wiggle your fingers and your toes. And roll down to your right side. Use both hands to come up to sitting. And take a seat. seat up on your blanket. And you rise up to sit and bring awareness to all 5 elements, all 3 doshas. So earth, water, fire, all properly balanced, we hope, properly sized. Air and ether. And bring your hands together at your heart. Thank you very much, everyone. Namaste. As we bring our own doshas into balance, may our inclinations, our propensities for goodwill, may that become stronger. And may we bring action into the world that benefits others. And also may some of this balancing help to lessen the fray of how much out of balance pitta we have. Right now I'm thinking of Portland, of course, because I live here, and also so many other places. So don't mistake your personal practice right now as not a contribution to the larger solutions. Just know that your personal practice is really necessary if you're going to be a part of solutions. When we understand in ourselves the doshas and the mind habits and the human condition, we will understand it better in each other. And from that place we can better help. So thank you for being here, all of you. Thank you, Susie, for being my co-host today as well.